Started the recording.
Okay.
Recording.
All right. Is that which one is that?
Conference recording started.
All right.
Again,
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Julius Nyeri, CBPM, UNIA-ACL Division 421, Atlanta, Georgia, mass meeting. This is our volume 11, issue number 4 of our Whirlwind newsletter. It is 5:28 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today is February 12th, 2022. Today we having an open discussion. We have a few topics on the table right now, so we're just gonna go with the flow right now. As far as the topic, it seems like we have a lot to talk about that's going on now. The original discussion was supposed to be over the vice presidents, which we're not gonna do. We do have a fundraiser coming up, and I'm gonna put the picture in the agenda and for you all with the flyer and the time. So let me go to it right now. I was having a little trouble with MailChimp trying to use it through the app because I like to upload the pictures from the app instead of downloading stuff to my computer, because I don't have an antivirus on it right now. So, but the MailChimp wouldn't let me use the app. It kept throwing me off. So that's why I haven't sent the agenda out. So I'm waiting to add pictures. But they're having a night at the movies, Judas and the Black Messiah, on February 26, 2022. It's a UNIA-ACL Division 421 fundraiser. The doors open at 4. Showtime started at 5:15. It's at the Atrium. What is that? Atrium Studios?
The Atrium.
Okay, I'm sorry. Atrium Studios, 5479 Memorial Drive, Stone Mountain, Georgia. And it is a family-friendly event. Okay. Can y'all see me? Can you see my face?
No.
Okay. I was trying to see how it worked because I wasn't on the screen. So, I normally don't have my camera on. Okay. So I guess when I come back to the screen, y'all will be able to see. All right, let's do the pledge to the red, black, and green. Please repeat after me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
to the protection, defense, and security
to the protection, defense, and security
of the red, black, and green.
of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life.
I dedicate my life
to the redemption of Mother Africa.
To the redemption of Mother Africa.
And liberation of us scattered Black children.
And the liberation of her scattered Black children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants
the teachings of universal African nationalism.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
Purpose and knowledge of themselves.
The purpose and knowledge of themselves.
As African people.
As African people.
In order that the powers of our struggle.
In order that the powers of our struggle.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
One aim. One aim.
And one destiny.
And one destiny. One destiny.
I say race first. Thank you.
Race first.
Okay, so today, my guidelines for the call is really not that many of us on. So, we're gonna still break it up into two halves. We're gonna focus on the topic, and then the second half we'll have members share. But I guess we'll be more lenient with the time that you have to share. I mean, don't go overboard, but you know, if you want to go over the 4 or 5 minutes, then that's cool. Let's see, keep your phone on mute when you're not speaking, have pen and paper available. And there will be people on this call with different ideas, religions, and opinions than your own. Ladies, do not give out your personal phone numbers during the conference call. Give out your business number or email, and refrain from using the N-word during the call and unnecessary using and overusage of curse words. And I'm gonna pass it to our president so he can do roll call.
Thank you, Second Lady Vice President, Sister Tania.
Thank you.
On the call tonight, we have myself, Brother John, member number 306. We have our Second Lady Vice President, Sister Tania, member number 177. We have our Legal Defense Committee Coordinator, Attorney, member number 165. We have our Assistant Treasurer on the line, Brother Andrew. Brother Andrew, I gotta get your number. And we also have Brother Atif, Brother Atif Kwabena. And also, I remember Dr. Shams was on the line. He dropped off. So on the call right now, we have 5. We don't have anybody on the conference line. Everybody's on Zoom. The camera's on, Sister Tania.
It went out for me. I stopped being able to hear. Did you?
Okay. Well, yeah, I finished the roll call. It's 5 on the Zoom, no one on the conference line. So it's passing it back to you, but your camera is on. We can see like your ceiling.
Yeah. Right. So membership has been on. What do y'all think? I mean, what would y'all like to talk about today? Just, you know, did y'all hear anything? Did y'all want to go over the study group stuff that we've been doing?
I've got the study group stuff ready to go, but yeah, I mean, whatever. Is there anything in particular that people on the call are interested in? Any history or opinions that people were curious of?
All right, I guess they don't mind either way. So let's just start off with the study group.
Okay, if you forgive me, I've just found here, Brother Imhotep here, and there is one topic I'd like to briefly speak on. I'm looking at the email now. I don't know if many of you saw it. It's entitled Black History Month 2022, and it's a petition to request that Biden pardon Garvey, and they're saying they need 100,000 signatures on this petition. It was a town hall meeting held January the 6th, I believe. The presenters included Dr. Julius Garvey, son of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, Greg Carr, professor of African American Studies at Howard University, Justin Hansford, legal scholar and attorney, commentary on Marcus Garvey by Tanishi Coates, author and bookseller. And it was hosted by Black booksellers, publishers, and distributors. And I was wondering, when I read this, I was wondering here that they're requesting Biden to pardon Garvey. And we just had Obama in office, and Garvey's family asked Obama asked Obama twice to pardon Garvey, and Obama didn't do it. And they had not only the family, they were supported by many Black congressional Congress members, including Rangel from New York, one of the representatives from South Carolina and Georgia. I don't know how many in Georgia, but someone in Georgia, Black representative, signed a petition, sent a letter to Obama, asking Obama to pardon Garvey. And you know, he didn't, and here it is. I know at the time, one of Trump's advisors had told him he should consider pardoning Garvey. And here it is now, we're having to later on ask this Biden to pardon Garvey. And it's just a disgrace, in my opinion, that Obama didn't do it.
Okay, so what was the thing that you wanted to discuss? I mean, was you asking like for us to answer something? Or you just make a note?
Yeah, and if anyone had any comments, you know, as far as the topic, I thought you were requesting a topic, and no one said anything, and that this was a topic that came to my mind here regarding Garvey. So yeah, I was introducing it, but if for open for discussion, any comments, if there aren't any, then I guess we can move on to the next topic. But yeah, if anyone has any comment on my thoughts, I'd welcome them.
Well, I just, when Obama was in office, I think he went trying to get Cuba to bring her back and stuff. So he wasn't, I mean, I don't know, I think we were just tricked, you know, with the black face, and we just didn't get what we thought we was gonna get. But I'm not gonna say he was bad all the way around, but we just didn't get what we thought we were. I mean, if Joe Biden do it, I mean, I don't think it matters who does it, as long as, you know, that they do it, they get it done. But anyone else?
Well, I'll let everybody else speak before I say anything. Anybody else want to comment? Well, my thoughts. First of all, when we have to ask someone for permission or recognition, I feel like we're in a position of weakness. We're in a position of inferiority, and we're asking someone that's in a position of superiority to recognize us. I've never really agreed with it. I'm not sure if that's something that Garvey himself would have been concerned with. I'm thinking of what is the benefit of that at this point, be acknowledged, by the United States, and saying that you weren't a threat or you weren't a criminal or whatever in their mind. I don't understand the value that that brings to us right now. Then lastly, like last question or thing that came to my mind is we're talking about 100,000 signatures, and I would assume, well, I would, yeah, most likely assume that not all 100,000 of those signatures are going to be Africans. Some of them are going to be non-Africans. But the question comes from, could we get 100,000 Africans to sign a petition for the pardon of Marcus Garvey? And I would hope we could. But then the second question is, why can't we get 100,000 Africans to support the UNIA? So I'm in support of it. It seems like a good thing, but that's not the final goal for me. That's not the big objective for me. And that's not, if I'm willing to sign the paper to put my name on it, but I don't think that's going to change anything for our people. So those are my thoughts. Anybody else have anything, any comments in regards to the potential, not pardon, it's not a pardon, is it? No, because he's, is it exoneration?
No, it's
Marcus Garvey.
No, it's a pardon. That's the
Pardon?
only thing that the president can do. There, it was a
Okay.
federal.
Well, I didn't know if it was I didn't know if you could be pardoned. Like is posthumous pardon?
Correct.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, like, personally, I don't know. But I'm trying to figure out that's something for us to be happy about and cheer about, but we're being happy that the government gave us something instead of we creating something for ourselves. But if we got the paperwork, I'm willing to sign it.
Yep. My one thought is that the government, including the Black president, won't agree and sign off on it. That says a lot about Garvey. And what
type of threat he was?
What he means to this country. Yeah, that they won't even pardon him. Yeah. What does the African the inspirations, desire to go home and do for race? Why is that so objectionable, non-desired, denied? So yeah, this should be a wake-up call to the African in America.
Any other comments in regards to potential pardon of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey? The failure pardon by Barack Obama 2 times. Okay. Trying to have some good lessons for us to go over. I like self and all right, let me do it. Well, let me pass it back to Sister Tania. Sister Tania, is it all right if we move into study group questions
Oh,
for a
yes,
few minutes?
yeah, we go ahead. I told you I'm down. Whatever we do, I'm down for it. I'm for it. All right.
So for those that aren't aware, let me see. This is slide number. Slide 16. Let me do a brief review of study group itself. So we had an election June 27th, 2021, and we brought in a new group of officers, and some officers changed positions, and new officers coming in, and myself getting a new position. I felt that training would be appropriate. So usually in the summertime, August, Marcus Garvey Day is our big focus, and that's what we were focused on in the summer. Right after Marcus Garvey Day, in September, we started to do training for our officers for Division 421. Some officers have been through the training, and some haven't, but in my opinion, this is a fundamental course in Garveyism, and especially in regards to leadership or being an officer in the organization. And why? There's a couple things. This is a picture of some of the first students of the first class. The first class was taught in 1937. In that class, there were 11 participants and 10 graduates. These are 8 of those graduates. 3 of these individuals, Charles L. James, James R. Stewart, and Thomas W. Harvey, eventually went on to become president generals. But try to get to the importance of the course. So when this book was written, there was an individual that was appointed the authentic historian of the life and works of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and he was appointed by a specific individual. Sister Tania, I think you would be the only one that may know who these people are.
All right, you said what again? Who
was the historian who documented the works of Marcus Garvey?
Oh, Tony Martin.
Tony Martin. Do you know who appointed him to do that?
Was it Charles L. James?
Yes.
Or was it
So yes. No, you're right, Charles L. James.
It was the author, the one who helped not translated, but took it from out his notes. I can't think of it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's whichever one.
Glad you brought that up. Because if you look at the book, it says edited, and this is not the clearest picture, but it says edited by Tony Martin. This book was published in 1986. Marcus Garvey passed in 1940, but this book is still considered to be written by Marcus Garvey. It was only edited and put together by Dr. Tony Martin. So we were saying, Dr. Tony Martin was appointed by President General Charles L. James. Charles L. James was the 5th President General, but he was appointed to basically document information. And this course belongs to African people, specifically, I would say the leadership within the UNIA. Okay, and this is where I was trying to go. So this book says that there was a compilation of works that was considered the closest thing to a book written by Marcus Garvey, other than some poetical works. Do we know what that book is?
Philosophies and Opinions.
Close, but the Philosophy and Opinions, it was his words put together by his wife.
Oh, okay.
Edited and compiled by Amy Johnson. It's actually, it's this course. In the book, it says the Course of African Philosophy is a unique document. With the exception of his poetical works, it is the closest thing to a book that Marcus Garvey ever wrote. So when we think about, the words of Garvey, the teachings of Garvey, Message to the People, according to Tony Martin and Charles L. James, is the closest thing to a book that Marcus Garvey ever wrote. And what it represents, the Course of African Philosophy, what it represents in an editor's opinion, it represents, as it were, the last political will and testament of a man who stands without equal in the history of worldwide mobilization of African peoples. Key part is last political will and testament. So when we think about doing the work of Garvey, carrying on the legacy of Garvey, I think Attorney Imhotep would understand this best, but we have to look at what it was that these individuals, or that Garvey himself, wanted done in his name and in his legacy. And me specifically, and for us, and what the book says that this represents the last political will and testament of Garvey. And so that's why we respect it so highly. Okay. Then go straight into one of the first question I wanted to go to, since we were kind of just did this. When we open the floor for questions and comments, we almost, as leaders, we almost have a responsibility. But Garvey says that leaders must always have something to say. And do we know why Garvey says that? And I'm gonna pull it up in the book as well. But do we know why Garvey says that as leaders, we must always have something to say when we're given that opportunity? But these are questions that we're studying with the officers in the organization now. But I want to ask that question to everybody.
I guess because everybody looks up to the leaders, so maybe people be looking for you to say something. See what your opinions. I mean, I know they ain't exactly what Garvey said, but that's
You're in the ballpark. Anybody else want to comment?
I think to gauge the opinions of the mass or the masses.
Gauge the opinions of the masses.
Yeah.
Not bad. Let me go to the text. So he says it in this paragraph. He says, a leader must not be extravagant. He must not be flashy in the sense of being over sporty. People will not think you serious. Always make your followers believe you are serious. You can be serious without being sour. Always think before you speak or act. Don't write or speak just to hear yourself. Speak or write only when you have something to say, and never touch anything by way of leadership that you do not know about, because somebody who knows about it will have a joke at your expense. Then he says that a leader must always have to say, otherwise he forfeits his leadership, and someone else who has something to say will supplant it. But when we are in open forums, and almost like a town hall setting, and someone is asking, is there any comment or is there any opinion? Silence implies consent. So when we don't say anything, we're not, evoking the voice of the people. So we have a responsibility as leaders to speak and to make sure our opinions are heard. That's all I really want to say. Any questions on that?
No, Shay, that's right on time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And before I go ahead,
One
somebody was gonna say something.
Yeah, a comment here. Yeah, I really like that too. If you don't have anything to say, don't say anything. But a leader, as far as the African situation here in this country, and that's what I see Garvey is speaking to, has to say something positive, for the race, to get them moving in the right direction, and the people would expect a leader to speak and do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you can make it short, if the leader doesn't have anything to say. And you would think he would if he's traveling around the different divisions and meeting and seeing what's going on in those different divisions, that he would have something to say, but he could make it short. Yeah, he could make it short. Okay.
Sure. But yes, I think one of the key things that I pull from it is we forfeit our leadership. And that's something that I've seen a lot in the Black community. And not only, it's weird, because not only internally within the Black community, it's like us as a Black community, we don't speak for ourselves, and we allow others to speak for us. And you see a lot of this when you look at politics. You'll have a Black community or Black population being represented by somebody that's not like them. So that's a situation where people have forfeited their voice, or not gonna say forfeited, or they've allowed someone else to speak for them. All right. Before I leave from leadership, I should touch on the first question. In order to lead, what must you be? Or what Garvey says, in order to lead, you must followers. In order to have followers, what must you be to those individuals? Excuse me. Requisite of leadership. Oh wait, I wasn't sharing the right screen. Sorry. So first question: to lead, what must you be to your followers? To lead implies you have followers. So in order to lead, what is something that you must maintain to maintain followers? You know what that is. It's weird. It's weird. The answer is weird. Like, y'all probably be like, oh my gosh. Anybody want to take a shot at it? What must you be?
Repeat it again. I'm sorry.
In order to lead, what must you be to your followers? How must your followers perceive you?
Oh, I don't remember the answer to that one.
Anybody want to take a shot? So this is the beginning of this lesson. This is lesson 2. So the very second lesson that Garvey teaches is entitled Leadership. First lesson he teaches is entitled Intelligence, Education, Universal Knowledge, and Where to Get It. But it's a foundation on acquiring knowledge. So after we get the foundation of acquiring knowledge, Garvey teaches the foundation of expectations of leadership. And he says, to lead suggests that you must have followers. For others to follow you, you must be superior to them in the things that they must follow you for. So superiority, and it's not arrogant superiority. You must have superior ability in the particular. You must always be ahead by way of knowledge of those you lead. Now, for the position of superior ability, you will automatically fail to lead and you will have to follow others. Therefore, you must be ever vigilant in keeping ahead of those you lead by getting the latest and most correct information from for which you are searching, because if they are following, because for it they are following you. People only respect leaders and follow them when there's something superior in them. He talks about basic qualities that others look up to. You know, I'm not gonna say don't have, but and I think that's why the foundation of the and talk so much about intelligence. So Garvey's speaking from a superior intellect, what I would argue. But the basis is, you know, in order for you to have followers, in order for you to be a leader, obviously there must be something that you're superior in. Even if you're a karate teacher, you know, even if you're a karate teacher, obviously, you know, you're superior to the students that you're teaching. A professor has superior knowledge to the students. So I don't know if I need to elaborate on that too much. Any questions? All right, I want to jump down. Let's see. I want to get to self-initiative potentially. Yeah, I don't think we need to do aims and objectives right now. Self-initiative is probably the character. Yeah, let's talk about character really quick, briefly. So, what does character mean? Anybody know what character means? And you could give me your opinion. Garvey had a way of describing it, so maybe a little bit different, but general question is, what does character mean? When you think of the word character, what does that mean?
Like a personality.
Personality. Yeah.
Like who you are.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Greetings.
Greetings. Okay.
Excuse me. I was just a response of what character means, and I don't know if my profession is blinding me. But when you say character, I mean someone who's peaceful and law-abiding. You're not someone that you wouldn't want to hang around.
That. Go ahead, Attorney Imhotep.
Yeah, that was it. If you heard me, I said someone who's peaceful and law-abiding.
Yes.
Someone with the character you'd want to hang around with, or be in association with, or in the same room, as opposed to someone with a bad character you wouldn't want to be around.
Yes. Garvey generally describes character. He says demonstration of the kind of behavior that meets the moral precepts of the civilization. So Attorney Imhotep, I mean, both of y'all are correct, but this is leading somewhere. But basically, character is behavior that the civilization agrees with. I'm trying to be careful with my words because there's another question coming up next. So I don't want to use those answers. All right, yeah, next question. Who defines the standard for good character and what happens? Well, first question, who defines the standard for good character?
I guess the society, the community. I would think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And that's where I was trying to go. So Garvey says good character means the demonstration of the kind of behavior that meets the moral precepts of a civilization. It's laid down by the society of the time in which you live and which forms a part and guides that very character. So good character changes over time. You know, some things that were permissible in the past are no longer acceptable now, and some things that were not acceptable in the past are acceptable now. But we must be aware of these changing trends in society and what it means to have good character, but also not jeopardize, you know, our own principles as well. But yeah, this is just stating that character is defined by society, and character is defined by society. Any questions? What happens when we don't live up to the standards that are of good character that are defined by society?
Get shown, I guess. Shown away. People treat you different.
Garvey says, I don't know exactly where he says, but he says you will not respect it. Yeah, here we go. Don't be immoral in your community. Somebody will tell you, expose you, and home to your community will be closed against you, and respectable people will shun you. So yeah, you're right. You'll be shunned. You lose respect. Do we know what the greatest prop or what's the greatest foundation of character? What characteristic builds
Honesty.
good character? Yeah, honesty. So yeah, honesty the best policy. But Garvey teaches us that honesty is the prop to good character. I need to pull that up in the book. Because the greatest prop to character is honesty. Honesty is the best policy. Let no one believe that you are dishonest. If they believe you are dishonest, you are doomed. You will never be able to rise to a position of respect and trust except by some mere accident. You must live so clean that everybody can see holiness in your life. These are our directives from Garvey. I don't know if I need to do this one. Okay, let me jump down to self-initiative. I guess we can ask this one. Most of the things in a community are a result of what? So when we see bad things in our community, what are they? What are they? The common cause, Garvey says. What is the common cause for bad things in the community? Garvey says, immoral, loose people. Garvey says most of the deformities in a community are the result of immoral and loose people cutting loose. Sick people never produce. Disease in man is destructive. It destroys the species and wrecks the mind of a man. The first thought a healthy man has of a poor-minded man is for immoral and stamp their immorality on him, which he is to carry through the world by his particular affection, be it in poor mentality or in nervous disability. But Garvey believes that a lack of good character was a main cause of a lot of the ills that we see in our community. That's why so we had a whole lesson on character, basically. What can we use to conquer every bad habit? Have a bad habit. What can we use to conquer every bad habit?
I say inner strength, but I know that ain't what Garvey said.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're close. I was thinking self-discipline, but Harvey says, don't be a public drunkard. Don't drink inordinately. You may contract disease by overdrinking and water your brain to that of deterioration. Don't take out of the habit. It will have the same effect. Be temperate in everything you do. Learn self-control. Garvey says, by self-control, you can conquer every bad habit. You can do so by concentrating on the thought always that the habit is bad and will ruin you. Say to yourself, I shall not be ruined. I shall conquer my bad habit. But yeah, self-control. That is a fundamental of good character. Of officers in the UNIA. So we don't need that one. Oh, this is a good one. How often should we bathe? What does Garvey say is the minimum frequency in which we should bathe?
Wasn't it like 2 times a day, I think?
He says at least once a day and at least 3 times per week. There's some not hidden, but there's some subliminal messages that Garvey has in these lessons about cleanliness and hygiene and how character and confidence. But as Garveyites, as leaders, we have to be clean, presentable, and of good hygiene. That's what does Garvey say about a man who is clean in his body, appearance, and mind? Okay, so yeah, this is where it leads into confidence. So when a man are clean in their body, mind, and appearance, you can feel like a giant and a master. You're afraid of nothing. You're ready to take on the world, basically. Why should we develop the habit of treating children decently? Why should we the children or be kind to children?
I would say because they our future leaders, and
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what Garvey's.
Well, I mean, yeah. Anybody else want to say anything? Why should we develop the habit of treating decently?
Because I would say that it's because children will imitate the behavior that they're exposed to.
I like that as well. What Garvey says, but I agree with both of you. Garvey says children will tell their parents, and their parents will give you love. But one, I mean, obviously, just for the sake of doing it, it's the right thing to do. But there's additional benefit that Garvey talks about. He has a lesson where he talks about kindness and being kind for the sake of eventually, potentially coming back later on. And I think this would be an example of that, where kindness, and that kindness is advertised, through the beneficiaries. But Garvey says that children will tell their parents, and their parents will respect and love the organization. What should we do when we are angry to the point of fighting? And how if that person is close to us? What should we do if we get angry and we want to fight? Anybody?
Take a
Well, I
time.
guess I'll chime in. Sorry. Go ahead, Sister Tania.
Oh, what you about to say?
No, I
what
was gonna say you gotta cool off before you
Yeah.
start, because if you feel like fighting, then probably that's not the best time to have a conversation or anything. So what I tell my children, or in my house, take 5, go to your corners, your rooms, whatever, and when you are not so emotional, then we can talk about it. But at that moment when you're angry, scientifically, it's like you almost have a fight or flight reflex. And the most often time, the aggressive part wants to fight and think, flighting is cowardice, but it's not. Oh, okay. Count to 10, go for, okay.
Absolutely
So that's
right.
basically it.
So yeah, if it's if it's not a close person, like business work or something, Garvey says we should count to 10. But you're on the right line. I mean, you're saying the right things. We should calm down. Then Garvey says if it's someone close to you, a married a wife or loved one, then you go for a walk. Actually, leave the building if you have to. Go for a walk, calm down. But yes, we're not supposed to act out of extreme emotion. Just calm down. I'm not going to go to that one. Garvey talked about, he said we should never fall in love to the point of losing control of yourself. But basically he said, just be careful about who you fall in love with. You'll become that person. So be conscious of who you give your love to and how much love you give them. But we're not supposed to be slaves to individuals. We're slaves to the cause, so to speak, slaves to, the purpose that God gave us. Okay, I'm not going to do that one. Some things that we should consider when we investigate loving, some things that we should investigate when considering loving someone. Garvey says you should look at their character, their disposition, their temperament, and their behavior. But this leads into the previous question about being careful who you fall in love with, because you're tied to that person's emotions and temperament and behavior. Careful. At what age does Garvey recommend marriage and why? What would y'all think?
I would think that he would probably say that it's not based on age, maybe, but readiness. But I don't know, because I'm just guessing.
Not bad. I mean, readiness, yes. We want to be ready. Anybody have any thoughts on age that Garvey would have said? He wrote this, he created this in 1937 for context. In his mind, he was thinking, you know, individuals shouldn't get married until a certain age for a certain reason. Garvey says 30 or 35. And he says, in his opinion, they have enough time to see and understand everything. But you're ready, you're experienced. And this is Garvey's opinion, not necessarily. Yeah. With that being said, let me go back. Go ahead, brother.
That's what Dr. Pookrum says also. 30, 35. Because both parties have had a chance to study, learn, grow, and develop at that point, and they're not going into it a relationship without basic knowledge and without a foundation underneath them.
Yes. All right. Now, one thing that foundation principles comes from lesson 1, actually. I know what page it's on. I'll just go to the page. Okay.
Question number 12. What is the answer to question number 12? Did we go over that one?
No. What book does Garvey suggest us to read a chapter of every day?
Right. What would that answer be? I would like to know that.
What do you think it is?
I guess the teachings of his Marcus Garvey, I guess, because in order for us to be familiar with his teachings, we have to read something out of his books every day in order for us to build a source of knowledge within ourselves of what he is actually teaching. I don't know. That's a guess.
Not a bad guess. Anybody else guess? I'll try to find this other answer. What book Garvey recommends we read?
A chapter of every day.
A chapter every day. Let's see if I can find it in the book as well. Let's see. Middle end. I know the answer. Trying to find it in the text, but the answer is the Bible.
Oh, okay. I started to say that, but
Here it is. So Garvey says, read a chapter of the Bible every day, Old and New Testaments. The greatest wisdom of the age is to be found in the scriptures. You can always quote, this is the quickest way of winning approval. So,
true.
Garvey teaches that, you know, we have to have a understanding of history, and the Bible is a, you know, whether we agree with it or not, it is a significant part of history. So even if we don't agree with it, We have to understand the impact that it has and the influence that it has throughout the world. And if we want to be able to connect with our people, we have to have we have to have that level of understanding.
Right.
Well, I was trying to find a comment that Garvey says we don't have to agree with everything that we read. And
That should be like the first chapter. I think it is. It's in the first chapter.
So even as we go over this and we read, Garvey's text and his lessons, in the first lesson he says, it is not necessary or compulsory that you agree with everything you read. You must always use your own reasoning. You must always use or apply your own reasoning to what you have read based upon what you already know as touching the facts on what you have read. Pass judgment on these facts. When I say facts, I mean things that cannot be disputed. But basically, it is not necessary or compulsory that we agree with everything, even this text. So these are the opinions of Garvey. I would argue his last political will and testament, but we don't have to agree with everything that he states. Well, Sister Tania, at 6:30. Let me jump down to self-initiative really. See if there's anything that we can take away for tonight. So Garvey talks about in self-initiative, he says that we have a single responsibility in life. Do we know what that responsibility is? Or, if you had an opinion on a single responsibility in life, well, there was only one thing. Well, yeah, if you only had one responsibility in life, what would it be? Primary importance.
I would say self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Yes.
Like that.
Growing in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
I'd say family.
Family.
Yes.
Okay. I would argue, my initially were responsibility to God, but then when I think of that, God gave me responsibility, so I guess it would be like, adhering to the personal responsibilities that God gave me. But Garvey says every man is his own responsibility in life. So we're responsible for ourselves first. Nature has never made anyone dually, but singly. Therefore, you have your single responsibility. Before we can do things for others, we must make sure that, we take care of ourselves and that we're responsible for ourselves and no one else is responsible for us. Let me stop sharing. What would we say is the purpose of life? What is the duty of man? What is the purpose of life? What is the duty of man? Not, because it's not like verbatim. The more I go over these questions, like you can get a bunch of different answers that are right. Garvey says, the purpose of life is to live fully, simply. Hence, the single life must be complete. And in fact, it is so with every man. Therefore, it is the duty of every man to fall back on himself for wisdom. But this lesson is self-initiative. It's our duty to provide for ourselves, and beyond that, to provide for our loved ones. But again, it's no one else's responsibility. It's ours.
Right.
Why do we think individuals should decide for themselves what they should do? Why should individuals allow us to decide for ourselves, and why allow others to decide for themselves? Okay.
Well, to reach a point of agreement, you'd have to know what the other person is thinking about. And once a person makes a decision, then you know where they particularly stand. That way you can judge where you stand, and it'll be easier for you to reach a point of unity if both understand their particular positions. Yes.
To understand their position, I'm with you. But beyond, even more fundamental than understanding their position, why is it important for them to speak for themselves?
Well, because they have a brain and they should exercise critical thinking skills. That's my guess.
You're on the right path. Garvey says the individual should know what is best for himself.
Right.
So we should know what's best for ourselves, and others should know what's best for them.
Right.
But from a self-initiative standpoint, no one should be determining for us what's best. That's our determination.
Right.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much time, Sister Tania, I don't know how much time you wanted me to continue, but
It's about a member share. We don't want to go too far, even though we don't really have that many people on, but we can do like maybe 5 to 10 more minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. When we fail to take self-initiative, what do we become? Basically, what happens to us when we fail to take self-initiative?
We become a part of someone else's initiative.
Pretty much. See what the word was that Garvey used. I hope that's not the one that wrote. It is a sucker. Let's see. But Garvey says the person who fails to be true to himself in taking the initiative to do things for himself will ultimately find out that he or she has been a for others. But if we're not determining our own destiny, there's always going to be somebody there to determine it for us. What is the root of self-reliance? What is the foundational starting point of self-reliance? In order for an individual or a group of people to be self-reliant, what do you think Garvey believes that they must have?
I would say self-confidence.
I think you are right. Always maintain a strong will. He says will, so. Sure, yeah. I would agree with confidence. But Garvey says, always maintain a strong will and emphasize that strong will even more from the first reasonable judgments. You come to the conclusion that you are right. To come to the conclusion, you must have the facts before in your mind. Okay, so here it is. Don't allow anyone but God Almighty to alter your will, because your will is your decision. So your will is your decision. Your decision is your intelligence. Your intelligence is your personality. Your personality is your self-confidence and your initiative. So we end in self-confidence. We started with your will, which is your decision. But being able to decide for yourself, having the confidence to make a decision for yourself, that says a lot in itself. So some people, many of our people, we don't have the confidence to determine our own will, and we allow, others to determine that for us. But that is not a Garveyite principle. So we must have a strong will, strong confidence, and be strong in our self-reliance. We call for help from others. And I know somebody probably gonna say when you need it, but when do we need to call for help from others?
When there's a problem that you can't solve.
Absolutely, Brother Orman. And you said it in the simplest terms you can. But Garvey was a little bit more elaborate. He said, always try to help yourself. Only when you are completely satisfied that you do not have the ability, character, and strength to do for yourself should you call anyone to help you. But we must, try everything that we can and all of our ability, exert all of our ability before we give up and call for help from somebody else. It shouldn't be your plan B shouldn't even be to call for help. Your plan, it should be like plan Z. You should keep trying for yourself. And then when you are satisfied that you don't have the ability, then you call for help. I don't think we got to do that one. Why should we not fear God? That's a good one. This goes into confidence and self-reliance, but why should we not fear God? And I know the Bible, Proverbs teaches getting a wisdom is the fear of God or something like that. But in Garvey's opinion, why should we not fear God?
Because fear is a non-productive emotion or concept.
Fear is non-productive. I can see that.
False evidence appearing real, I think they say.
Yes. Yes. Anyone else? Why should we not fear God? Garvey says, if you love God, you need not fear him. You fear God only when you are conscious of evil or wicked. But if we come from God, if we are a part of God, one with God, and we are doing God, why should we fear God?
Right.
So we should be more so in love with God and acting out of our love for God than out of fear.
Yes.
Sister Mia, let me see. Yeah, this kind of makes me want to go into the lesson on man. So I think I'll stop here and pass it back to you. But just for everyone, sorry, Sister Mia. But yeah, this was So tonight we were supposed to go over our Office of Vice Presidents. Let me double check to make sure we still report on Vice Presidents. Yeah, right now we only have Sister Tania on the line in that position. So we're gonna save that discussion until we have more of our vice presidents on the call. And tonight we had a detour and we did, so what you're seeing is lessons from our division training course that is centered around the book, Message to the People, Course on African Philosophy by Marcus Garvey. But tonight we were just going through some of the study group questions that we've had in the past couple months behind this book. With that, I guess that closes out this portion, and I'll pass to Sister Tania to open up membership.
All right, well, we can move on to membership. How many people do we have on the other? I'm not looking at the conference call. We have people on that.
We have one on the conference line, and then 6 here or 7 on the Zoom.
Okay. All right, well, we can go with membership. I see, okay, Queen Mother Moses is on the line. Is there something that you, I'm sorry, I forgot that you were doing it different, President John. You were starting with officers, right?
Well, it's a little short on tonight's call. I'll be very brief. Only thing I've got from my side, one second, we'll get right to someone else. Little organization announcement. Only thing I've got, our big focus for this month is the fundraiser, and I'd like everyone, if that can contribute and participate, to please do so. We'll be hosting a dinner and a movie February 26, 2012 this year. From 4, doors are open at 4 p.m. Showtime at 5:15. We'll be at locations called the Atrium, but we'll be having a showing of the film Judas and the Black Messiah with a discussion to follow up. But this is the main focus for the division right now. There's been some smaller events. There's been a Black History event this weekend, the 11th, 12th, and 13th, today at Onalagrio Museum. Our brother, Ken Wardo, our community outreach coordinator, has been leading those activities, and we had a small event in January. But for the near future, the focus for the division will be this fundraiser, and that training and study groups. And then after this event, we will start planning for a trip to Philadelphia in April for High Executive Council. Those are the updates that I have that I wanted to share. The only thing coming out of the parent body is the same thing that we're doing, fundraising. So main focus for the national headquarters. And that's part of what we're doing our fundraiser for. But if you're not aware, the UNIA only one building in the United States right now, and that's our international headquarters in Philadelphia. And we're doing a international fundraiser to rehabilitate the building and renovate the building. We're trying to raise probably close to like $500,000. So all Garveyites that can participate and help out, we're asking for that assistance. And that's all I really got for division announcements and updates. Now, I'm going to put the link to the event in the chat. So our first Vice President, Brother Macias, has created a online RSVP form that individuals can use to register or just donate if they would like. But that's the main focus for Division 421 is our upcoming fundraiser. There aren't any questions. That's all I've really got. And I think, Sister Nia, we could probably just go straight into member share unless you had any announcements in regards to calendar or anything.
No, it's coming out in the agenda. Only thing I need to do is add pictures, and it's actually ready to go. As soon as I'm able to get the pictures to upload, I'm gonna send it out, and then it'll have the flyer in there for the event, and it'll have the 2022 schedule attached, and that'll be it.
Sounds good. So with that, I guess as always, we're going to member share, and we like to hear from our sisters first, brothers. We have to be good listeners. Our sister we'll bring in is Queen Mother Moses. Greetings, Queen Mother Moses.
Greetings, family. Race first. Highly blessed. Giving thanks. Seeing with me multitasking. I'm actually in the EWF meeting at the same time on another equipment. So definitely what's going on now, we are part of the No More campaign to ensure that no more division within Ethiopia or Africa, those born at home and abroad. I had done a presentation last week for the Collective Black People's Movement that really was geared towards UNIA because of Marcus Garvey's advice to I&I. There is going to be a march in Harlem following Marcus Garvey's routing that he did. And that's going to be March 2nd, going from the park and following the routing as part of bringing attention to what is going on in Ethiopia and the role that the US has played in holding up funds that started under the Trump administration and that has continued under the present administration. And it's all surrounding the dam and Ethiopia's prime minister wanting and standing up for Ethiopia people also getting access to water, electricity, and a standard of living that is acceptable out of poverty. So that is what is going on. I and my husband had ended up in Ethiopia representing, and the call was for conference and service. So we did go to the conference with Ethiopians, and the interesting thing is that ones came from all over the continent and all over from all over the six region, especially the Rastafari, because anywhere the Rastafari is born, the Rastafari consider himself and herself an Ethiopian. And of course, Emperor Haile Selassie had come to Jamaica in 1966 and claimed them as blood Ethiopians. So, I'm sorry. the work continues, and Ethiopia is standing up for Africans, Pan-Africans at home and abroad, and that no more will we stand up for disunity and for disrespect. It's time now for I and I to also be on the front line.
Race first,
These
Queen Mother
words I
Moses.
give thanks.
Race first, Queen Mother Moses. In regards to the parade on the 2nd, do you know if the New York divisions are aware of that event?
I must be honest, I am not, because you see, I've been in Africa for December and January. I just came back not too long ago, and I'm trying to, and that's one of the reasons why I had really wanted to be able to make a presentation, but we should have another opportunity before that, so I have asked for additional information because I am not absolutely sure like what time it is starting and those kind of things. So I am going to be asking, especially like for the international coordinator, to at least come and give some information on this platform so that there can, because it's not, it's open. And the more representation, I think the better it would be.
Okay. Thank you, Queen Mother Moses. Please keep us updated.
I will. Blessed love and a bless.
We'll keep it moving. We'll go to the next sister that we've got on the line, Sister Shantae. Greetings, Sister Shantae.
Greetings, family, and I apologize for my extended absence. Trust me, I've been working boots to the ground. I would like to hear more, Queen Mother, about the Ethiopia situation. Whenever we have time, I have heard some information about it. We were contacted here. The Republican Party was, because I am a part of the Republican Party, was contacted here to go and visit an Ethiopian church to discuss some of the situation. So I will follow back up with the church. We did send representation out to the church, but I'll follow up to see what we could do at a local level to push legislation to help Ethiopia. But what I want to talk about was the supply chain challenges that we're experiencing here in America and how Africa has this continental trade agreement that went into effect in 2020, but we have yet to really realize this trade agreement. COVID kind of stopped that whole process. And I do believe that CCP was a part of that, because what's happening with this trade agreement, it is actually cuts out the middleman, which is China and other countries that go to Africa, take the resources and then sell it back to us, right? But then at the same time, they're not reinvesting into the continent. They're just stripping it of resources just to supply their own economy. So this trade agreement is a very aggressive and progressive approach to ownership for Black people, Africans throughout the diaspora. Okay, so this is a collective movement, right, where our businesses here in America could start sourcing raw materials directly from people in Ghana, in any part of Africa, but I know specifically I'm working with Ghana and Nigeria, right? So there's that opportunity for African Americans, Black, Moors, whatever you identify yourself with, to do business and go directly to the source, as opposed to going through China to buy it at a higher markup or lesser quality, because that's what they're known for, stripping the quality from it and selling us junk. So I did want to talk about that opportunity. Because there's legislation in process now. Our ports are starting to reopen, so there's the opportunity to import and export. And there's just a huge push to restart our economy and to develop small businesses. And this is the opportunity, because we love to consume, but we don't have that ownership mindset. Now is the time. We have the mindset, we don't have the execution. Let me repeat that. We have that mindset, we have the capabilities to do it, but the execution is something that we can work on. And this is the opportunity. I did share it with the president, the Continental, and I'll find it and put the link in the box. But because of COVID, we haven't been able to fully realize this opportunity. But now as the states are starting to open, legislation is starting to relax on a lot of the mandates. The Supreme Court ruled that the vaccine mandate is unconstitutional, so you cannot be forced to jab yourself if you don't want to. And a lot is coming out about COVID now. There are going to be a lot of liability lawsuits coming because what we're finding out now is, it's not funny, but we're finding out that there was a huge overreach in the government. The government did not constitutionally have the right to mandate anything. Mandates like that are unconstitutional. Unfortunately, because we complied to a certain degree, it made it seem like it was a constitutional action. I am in law school now, so that's how I found that out. But yeah, so this is just a huge opportunity. Yeah, I know we've lost so much through COVID, you know, but there's an opportunity for us as a people to collectively get together and make some things happen for our communities so we can have a better life.
Ashe, thank you, Sister Shante. Please keep us updated in regards to these, I don't know if they're trade agreements, but the status of, you know, being able to bring products directly from the continent. Very good news.
Yes, sir.
Next sister that we have on the call is our co-host, Second Lady Vice President, Sister Tania.
I'm a pass. I kind of been talking the whole time. So I'm gonna leave this opportunity for other people to talk. All right.
Thank you, Second Lady Vice President. I think that can, well, let me jump over to the conference line. Are there any other sisters on the line that did not share? Okay. We're going to jump over to the brothers. Let's see. So first brother that I want to bring in, our Legal Defense Committee Coordinator, member number 165, Attorney Imhotep. Greetings, African.
Yes, greetings, African. Thank you. I'll be brief here. I received this email this week, and I'm going to be sharing it with everyone I know. And it reads, when someone calls your ancestors slaves, correct them and say they were prisoners of war. And I really like that. It's a depiction of, it looks like some little African kids in a school, like a black school, black teacher, and all the kids have their hands raised in a Black Power salute. And we're always talking about, you know, we're at war right this very moment. And the historical evidence is we've been at war for quite some time. And with the Arabs, war against us since the 607th century AD and until not too long ago, and then the Europeans and their war against the Africans. So it's really good to say that we, those who were captured are really prisoners of war instead of slaves, because, well, first of all, we need to define for ourselves what happened to us. And of course, if you were to listen to the Europeans, they glorify that we were enslaved. They glorify it. And you see it every day, especially seeing it during this month here. And so that's how they've turned it. And the Arabs, I'm thinking when the Arabs look at us, they look at us as slaves. So I would just encourage everyone to think of those who were captured during this long war, which continues until today, were prisoners, or in fact, prisoners of war. And secondly, I'm on this Arab slave trade, enslavement war against the African, and comparing it. I mean, all you have to do, I guess, is do the Google search, and there's a lot of comparison between the Arab war and the European war against us. And it's of note that the Arab war continued for approximately 1,300 years, when the European war took about 400 years, even though it's continuing today. But I'm talking about the actual capture, transportation of the prisoners, whether it was across the Atlantic Ocean for the Europeans, and across the Indian Ocean for the Arabs. But we never speak about what happens in the Arab War, and we should. And it's starting to become, it looks like a lot of people are interested in it. So I'm learning more, and I'll speak later. Thank you very much, and race first.
Race first. Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. Next brother that we've got on the line, call him Brother Ormond. Greetings, Brother Ormond. Brother Ormond, you there? Okay. We'll come back to Brother Ormond. We'll jump over to our Brother Art. Brother Art, you there?
Yeah, I don't have anything to share at this time.
Okay. Thank you. Brother Art.
No, I don't have anything to share at this time. Thank you anyway, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for being here with us tonight. We'll go back, brother. Well, there was one individual on the conference line, the Raxton.
Yes, positive vibration.
Greetings, Brother Raxton. How you doing?
I'm living and I'm alive and I'm staying healthy. And I think that we should focus on a lot of the simplicity, you know, of the times be so complex. Yeah. And, you know, this organization that Marcus Garvey built has been a long-standing and long-running organization. I feel like there's a need for new upliftment in the movement of Marcus Garvey's vision for our people. And so I just want, yes?
I'm listening, my brother.
And so, you know, we as a people need to really look at really what's going on right in front of us, more so than what is the projection in the world around us, you know, what they have been putting forward. Because there's so much that we do not see. And there's so much that's being controlled. Sometimes when you think you have your own destiny in your hand, you're playing into the false illusions of what's going on around us, addressing things that is designed purposely to take us off of what we are supposed to be focusing on. You know, the different things going on in the world via mainstream media and whatnot. Because a people that is truly free should exercise freedom. And when you exercise freedom, you don't need anybody's permission to do that. I feel that all of our people in this organization, as well as many other organizations that are in the best interests of our race, or to unite themselves together, number one, and then begin to exercise self-determination, wherein we need no permission from no one to develop ourselves. And anyone who stands up in our way, we must be ready to militarily, physically deal with them, because they are not going to change. They have never changed. They will never change. And so they will never understand humanity and civilization and being civilized. They will never accept to share. They will always be envious of us as a people. If anyone on the line, if the people and the brothers and sisters on the line are familiar with Gabriel Oyibo out of Nigeria, who broke the God Almighty Grand Unified Theorem, and all the things that he has been going through, as well as there's so many other examples of our genius throughout the entire world today, and as also throughout the history of this world. So, you know, I am one who looking and listening, and I have had intention to join these calls before, but I always missed it. But at this point, today I look at it and I see the time was still on, so let me go in. You know, we have to begin to understand that we no longer need to look at any other race or any other thing. And sometimes we need to look closely at our own race, because some of our own race look like us, but they are not us. And we must begin to move forward in the spirit of Marcus Garvey, but with a renewed energy and a will to achieve what we will. And so for I and I right now, we know that we have everything we need. But for some strange reason, instead of us looking at us exclusively, we seem to always consider the things around us as if they will have an impact on us. They have no impact on us, because whatever impact they have has been the same impact from a long time. Lynching, brutality, poverty, drugs, murder, mayhem, chaos. This is what is there. So really and truly, we should be by this time immune to those things and full of courage and ready to stand up and know that we can come together and put our financial energy together, because that's a very simple operation. You know, because $1 is $1, and million people with $1 is $1 million. And we sure say there's more than 1 million people in this one organization itself, as well as other pro-black movement, black liberation movement. And so I feel like the leadership of these organizations need to just really do as their position suggests. Lead with the character, as I heard the questions asked earlier, with self-discipline and self-control, and a love for their own people. So, you know, that is really where I stand. I'm working on some things myself personally. I haven't launched them yet. And when I do, it shall be known. You know, outside of that, you know, anyone that would like to have me appear anywhere within for the sake of the forward movement. You know, I'm a singer and a songwriter, and I've been blessed with the energy and the frequencies of vibration to put forth music that will inspire and encourage and strengthen and heal the people. So, you know, just check with the president in this area, which is Atlanta, Georgia, Stone Mountain. I'm in Stone Mountain. You know, brother, what's his name? I forget his name right now. Can't come to my mind directly. But he will know how to get in touch with me. And I am more than willing to come and donate, you know, a moment in time if it will help the cause to bring more progression to the movement, you know. So that is really all I have to do. Just have to say, just each and everyone should just be encouraged, you know, step out and the strength to know, say, Gabriel Oyibo has broken the code. There's no need for any theories any longer. It is the theorem of all theorems. You know, it is God Almighty, grand unified theorem. Google him, Gabriel Oyibo. Many things come out of Africa that they are not reporting because they was so distracted with dealing with foolishness like Ukraine and COVID-19, which is the flu, the regular flu. You know, and people are buying it and eating it with threats of fear of loss of job and loss of being able to take care of my family and pay my car note, and people are taking jobs because of this. They are not paying people. The church, the black church is even involved in that, paying people to $100 to take a stick. What kind of foolishness is that? So these are all distractions so that we don't look at each other and see the beauty in each other and the love in each other, so that we can encourage each other to support one another and love one another and move forward to self-development, self-healing, self-strengthening, and self-development. You know, so these are the focus I would suggest that we all focus on, you know. You know, don't worry about what going on because Judge have them things under control already. They're not coming for us, they're coming for the wicked, and the wicked is scrambling. It's not us. We practice self-control and self-discipline. That is the number one thing right now. The number one thing. Self-control and self-discipline is the key. Unify in harmony and love one another, and know that the black community is not no geographical location, but it is the black genius which is inside of each and every one of us. And when we can grasp that reality and see that reality and embrace that reality, accept that reality, then we are on the path to true liberation and self-governance. See, so this is I'm Roxton Thomas, known also as Chihuahua or Chosi, the El Kadar. Positive vibrations. That is all.
That's good. Thank you, Brother Rankin.
Positive vibrations.
Was there anyone that did not get a chance to share before we move to a close? Last call, going through everyone that we announced earlier. So if anybody came on recently and would like to share, please speak up.
This is Aku. I just want to say I'm here. I signed in late, but greetings to everyone. No special messages.
Greetings, Sister Doctor.
Greetings.
How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How everybody doing? How you doing?
We're doing good. Is there any update that you wanted to give to the family?
Not at this moment. Not at the moment. I'm working with the political prisoner program right now with Joyce, with Reverend Joyce Powell. But no updates at this time that's necessary. I just wanted to say hi to everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Daku, and we're glad you were able to join us tonight.
All right. Thank you. One love. Race first.
Race first. I think I see one individual that I missed earlier, Brother Andrew. Brother Andrew, you here? Brother Andrew.
Yeah, greetings. Greetings and good evening.
Greetings, greetings, Brother Andrew. How you doing?
Doing very well, doing well. Yeah, I've been just listening in. I heard one of the speakers say that they're gonna have a Marcus Garvey Day, a Marcus Garvey March in Harlem. Is that so? Early in
Parade,
March?
yeah, March. That was Queen Mother Moses, I believe, March 2nd in Harlem, on a path that Garvey had walked before. I'm not exactly sure. Queen Mother Moses, do you have any details on that, or did I give a good summary? Queen Mother Moses, are you there? But from my understanding, March 2nd, there's some individuals are organizing a parade in honor of Marcus Garvey.
All right, because I might be up in New York that weekend, so I would have loved to have attended that. I was wondering if is there any way I could get more details on that?
Well, that's from Queen Mother Moses. She just gave us that information. That's my first time hearing it. I'm not, and I asked her, is that something does she know if the New York divisions are aware? Because if they were aware, then we could just tap in with them. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of information on that. Queen Mother Moses just kind of shared that with us, but there wasn't a lot of follow-up information.
Okay. All right, then. Well, I'll have to see if I could, get some information on that. Yeah. One quick question: is there any way I could get like email to me, Dr. Tony Martin, the book Race First? Is there any way you could email that to me, Brother John?
Digital Race First. I don't have a digital. Sister Tania, do you have a digital Race First? I've got a digital one for Message to the People, but I don't have a digital one for Race First.
I don't, but it's a website that we was looking at a while ago. You might be able to like Google it and see if you can find a free PDF.
No, it's not a video. I want to read the book itself. Is there,
the PDF is we was using
PDF. Okay.
A free PDF that was online, but it was like pictures. I think somebody went through, maybe took pictures of the book, and we was using that. But I don't have anything like to email you, and I don't the site. So you'll just have to try to Google it, put it in your phone, and see if you can find it.
All right then.
Okay.
All right, sounds good enough. Appreciate it. All right, John. All right, Brother John. Thank you. I'm signing out. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Brother Andrew.
Most welcome. The next executive meeting is on Tuesday, correct?
We have a study group. We'll have a study group this coming Tuesday. We'll have a mass meeting on the 27th of February, and then our executive meeting will be the first Saturday of March. I don't know what number that is.
Okay, that might be March 2nd itself, right?
Hold on, pull it up real quick. March 5th.
March the 5th. Okay, So March the 5th is the first Saturday in March?
Yes.
Oh, so March the 2nd would be like a day in the week, and that's like a Thursday. Okay, all right then. Okay, I appreciate it. All right, Brother John, thank you, and greetings, and appreciate it. All the speakers and panelists and like thinkers. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brother Andrew.
You're quite welcome.
If there's no one else that has anything to share, I guess I'll do my member share briefly. I'm just getting more and more focused on our funding and our quote unquote economy. We're going to get into getting more materials for flags and increasing our flag production. as Brother Andrew was asking about books, I feel that we have a responsibility as a division to have these books available. So race first, message to the people, philosophies and opinions. We should have all these things in inventory to where individuals or members can purchase them, and you know, it'd be a small profit to the division. We're going to get there, and we'll get there soon, but I don't want to overlook our number one fundraiser, which is membership dues. We are all Garveyites. We all follow Marcus Garvey. Coming to the meetings is important. It's of critical importance, but also paying our dues is important as well. That's what separates us from ordinary members and from ordinary fans and people who adore Garvey. You know, a lot of people love Garvey, red, black, and green, wave the flag, but not everyone contributes financially to the continued sustainability of the organization. So we, as members of Division 421, we should set ourselves apart from you know, the ordinary fan of Marcus Garvey, and we shouldn't just be, you know, those that adore Garvey, but we should be supporters of his organization and financially. So just keep that in mind. When we say we love Garvey, when we say we support Garvey, we know what that means, and we know what that means to us. So I urge all of us to continue to pay dues if you are, and to activate your membership if you're not. And we'll talk a couple weeks, and we will have an update of our fundraiser at that time. So I don't have anything else. I don't know any other way to say it, but we need funds, dues, and donations, however you wish to provide them. But I'll close out with the motto of the organization, and you can repeat after me. One God.
One God.
One aim. One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Africa.
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 For the African.
For the
For the
African.
African.
Those at home.
Those at home.
And those abroad.
And those
And
abroad.
those abroad.
Race first, family. And go in peace.
Race first.
Race first. Yes, family.
Race first. Positive vibration.
I'll bless.
Have a blessed week.